welcome back. And today, being Friday, I've got a nice little Friday install video for you. We're going to be putting some remote reservoir shocks onto the glittery disco biscuit that is Dad Gene Supreme, which is my 2010 Road Glide FLTRX. So let's get started with it. Firstly, what you're going to want to do is take your saddlebags off. Depending on what year of the bike that you have, you're either going to have the Zeus fasteners on the inside, or like these ones, you'll have the twist lock clamps. This one being a 2010, but I have retrofitted 2015 and up bags to it, which all the mounts are the same, so they do just mount straight up. Start off by getting them out of the way. You want to do this on both sides. I've already got the bike jacked up, so you want it lifted on a workshop stand to just at the point where the tyre is just touching the ground. So you want to take all the weight off the suspension so that you've got just a little bit of the tyre touching. And what we're going to do is crack all the old shock mount bolts off, which require a 3-pack to it, so these all come off. Crack them loose. Don't remove them yet. Crack them all loose. And on this one, I am dropping or raising the back end. The current shocks that are on it are 12-inch shocks, and we're going with 13s on the new remote reservoir ones. So we just crack them off a little bit. Now what we're going to want to do is I'm going to put the 2 mounts for the canisters on the back first. I've already pre-assembled the mounts for it. So that's just going to require popping the bolts out that are already here. If I can actually bring all the correct tools over with me, it would be a lot better. Let's crack these back 2 off. If you've got a newer model, depending on your year, obviously the old ones have, if you've got a docking kit, you go on the outside of the cover. On the 2014 and up, the covers are a one-piece billet cover that comes sorry, not billet, cast cover that comes down, and they hold the bag supports as well. But all the chassis are all the same, so all the mounting points are the same. It is just a couple of differences on the covers. But if you've got the docking hardware, the kit does come with spacers to push the brackets out just slightly, and again, depending on what model you have, depends on which length of spacer and how they slot in. And they're all loose. Pop all these bolts out. And kit does come supplied with all the hardware that's needed, as well as different style and different size spacers. Have a check, because I may not need any, depending on how these are gonna sit. Yes, they will sit flush on there. And before you install it, remember, blue Loctite. That way you got no chance of them coming loose, because as we all know, they do vibrate like a jackhammer, and a loose bolt will come out ridiculously easy. So just a little bit of thread lock on the ends of them. Don't need a lot, you're not decorating a cake. A little bit will go a long way. And work it into the threads a bit. Don't drop them, that helps. Let's get this one somewhat situated. At the moment, we're not going to torque anything down. We're just going to get them snugged just so that they hold. Just so it holds it in place. Do this side. And depending on how you want to orientate them, I've got the pinch bolts on the inside. If you want to run them on the outside, that's purely up to you. I just think it'll look better pointing inwards. These all snugged up, start taking the shocks off. They're snug. Again, remember, we're not Loctiting anything just yet. No, sorry, we're not torquing anything just yet. Make sure we get everything lined up. If you're a complete dumbass, like me, you get your ratchet stuck, so now you've got to wind it back. I refuse to take the back guards off, so I'll do, go get a spanner. If I'd have pre-planned, I'd have known that I'd have needed this. That's what I get for working at the other side of the workshop, not next to my toolbox. So we are going to be reusing the original hardware. Okay, so now that we've got one shock off, before we fit one of the new ones, we're going to roughly set the preload on it. On this set, because of how much I weigh, I'm about $1.40 piss wet through. So it calls for 18mm of preload. And now what that's measured from is the top of the ring to the collar of the shock, and as you can see we are just slightly out of that. So what we're going to do is undo the little locking screw that's in the side, and then with the supplied tool we're just going to run them round until we get to our desired preload setting, which this can all be tweaked on the bike as well once it's on and it's been test ridden, and we check it just in case we're not happy. We can tweak it, but for the most part, for the kind of riding I'm going to be doing, which is mostly solo riding and travelling to events, well, my panniers loaded, but it's usually just me that's on it. Every now and again I will take the wife out when we've got time. So we're just going to set this to the 18mm or as close to it as you can get. A couple of tweaks on it, and there we go, we're about bang on. We'll lock that off. Now, as I say, they do come with shock spacers. You do get a set of 4 washers that will just go on the side to space it off the frame, depending on what model you have. I'm just going to double check it. So now the bike does need coming up. So I'm going to pull the other shock off and we'll get the bike jacked up a bit more. As I say, I've gone from... Okay, so I've done removed the shock from the other side. As I say, because I'm going from 12-inch shocks, which on this model, on the TRX, is standard, I am going with a set of 13s, just to give me that extra little bit of height and hopefully a little bit more comfort. Now, so the kit does come with spacers for the shock bolts. So what we're going to do, we're going to get these on and put a little bit of Loctite on them again. And we'll start running these in. And again, we just want to get these roughly in place. They don't have to be torqued down yet. Run spacer on one side and feed the reservoir into the bracket for now, just so it's out of the way. Might have to come down just a little bit. What I can do is just lift the wheel up. Barely needs to come down. I may have just gone a little bit too much. And because the shocks are off both sides, should be able to just lift it and wedge a piece of wood under should give me what I need. Well, you know, it's too much. That is bloody perfect. So that now lines up fine, so put Loctite on that bolt. Take unsupplied spacers, put it behind it, and we just run that in. If I can remember where I put the spanner. Just snugged. Let it move a little bit. A couple of tight threads in it. Alright. That side is on. Do the other side. And again, same procedure. Procedure, both spacers, a little bit of Loctite, snugged up. Right, so now what we're going to do, you can either keep your lines up top or turn them around so they just loop nicely. What we'll do, undo that, get them situated in there nicely, nice and even, and just, again, just snug it down. Rotate that one, put it on the mark, the hose somewhat centered, and then just snug it down. All these screws have all been Loctited already, they'll hold in place. And there we go. They're all on. Now it's just a case of talking everything down to spec, which if you're working on your bike you should have a factory service manual. Don't do anything on your bike until you buy a factory service manual. Even if you've been doing it for years and it's your full-time job, a service manual is still one of the best resources you can have, because there's always going to be one or two little things that you overlook or forget. And try to remember, torque specs for a lot of the bikes is is a hard thing to remember, so always get yourself a good quality service manual, especially if you can get one direct from Harley, then that's even better. Their service manuals are like amazingly comprehensive for what to do with everything. And so we're going to torque all 4 of the shock bolts down now, so the range is 47.5 to 52. So as long as you aim for the middle of that range, you're alright. That way, if you do ever want to check your torque on, you know if they're loose, you've still got enough to tighten. But if you go to the lower end of it and you try and check if you see if they're loose, you can loosen them off and you've got to start all over again. But they're all torqued now. And just as a tech tip, never leave your torque wrench at a set torque. Always keep it stored loose, and then you won't have any issues of mis-torquing. There we go, everything's all fully installed and bags are all back on, and they just look rather cool. So that's the install of them. Well, thank you for tuning in and watching. As you can tell, I'm not the greatest at talking on camera at the moment, but bear with me. I'm getting there. I'm getting more confident. But yeah, so if you liked any of this, by all means, subscribe and like. And we're gonna have some really cool content coming soon. Some fabrication work, some paint work, and then just some more general riding videos and being out and about, and then a couple of review videos. I'm also going to do a full bike check breakdown on the Dad Supreme Road Glide, just so that everybody knows what it actually is. So until next time, stay safe, ride safe, and make your dash count. I'll catch you all on the flip side.